What's up guys, macadii here, bringing you another NU battle. Now, I've got another battle against Mike Rect, and he promises me that he's got a bit of a fun team to give a go. So, I'm quite looking forward to seeing what he's got. So, by the looks of things, he's got a, Sandshrew, which I guess is probably going to be defensive. A Liepard as well, which is going to cause some issues, especially with the prankster T-Wave. The Dusclops is going to be very bulky if it is specially defensive. I've got to worry about Shadow Sneak and Sucker Punch from the Kecleon, and Sucker Punch from Arbok as well. So, and then I'm guessing this is probably Scarf Whalelord, which to be honest isn't too much of an issue. So as always, I am going to lead with Tash. If he does decide to leave the Sandshrew and get rocks up, that's not too much of an issue. He does leave with the Zachariah, so I am going to get the Sunny Day up at this point, and I need to just have a think about which one I wouldn't mind getting T-Waved. Looking at his team, Executor probably is the weakest one. He goes straight for the Taunt. That was an excellent play. Let's see. Actually, probably Bambi is the weakest one here. So, that was definitely a good play. I would quite like to keep Tash intact. I guess actually I could Volt Switch this turn so I can go out into Bambi. I'm predicting probably the T-Wave or something like that. Or a U-turn actually. So maybe Volt Switch isn't too bad a play. I am going to go for the Volt Switch just in case he does decide to go for the T-Wave. Not the T-Wave, the U-turn. He does go for the T-Wave as well. Get parried. I am going to Volt Switch this turn. So I can't think of anything else that he will really have. So this is looking more like a support Liepard. So he is probably going to U-turn. I can't see him having much to actually one-shot Tash. Actually, I guess the Drain Punch. I am still going to Volt Switch though, because I don't really want to take a U-turn on the Swordsbark. And it does give me the initiative. He goes for the Snarl. That's quite interesting. So at this point, I'm going to go out. Probably into Swordsbark is the best bet, and get a Horn Leech off. I think that's probably the best bet. I don't particularly want to get T-Waved on anything else really. Pitch definitely doesn't appreciate the T-Wave. I am going to go out into Bambi and get a Horn Leech off. If he does decide to go out to the Dusclops, I probably will go out into Rapidash because I can get the Flash Fire boost. If he does go for the Will-O-Wisp, so I'm gonna go for the Horn Leech this turn. I'm not sure if it will take out Zachariah, but I'm hoping it will do. He does go for the Charm, which I was slightly fearing because I do unfortunately kind of remember this Pokemon from last time, and it is quite scary because it is just purely setup and annoyance and all that sort of thing. So he does go for the T-Wave as I go for another Horn Leech, and I get the crit, which is really unfortunate actually. And I do feel quite bad about that actually, because Liepard could have taken another hit. I know I could have gone for the jump kick, but with the whole Dusclops was in the back of my mind that whole time, especially with me being normal type as well. So I figured that probably was the better bet. As I said, I do feel really bad about that crit. But I think in fairness though, I guess he could still have switched it out. But at this point, I am a little bit scared of that Arbok coming in. He does come out into the Lizard Protean thing. So he might still, I guess he won't go for the Shadow Sneak, will he? I won't outspeed, so he's going to turn into a fighting type and go for a Drain Punch probably, or a Power Up Punch. So I think I am just going to go for the Return, just to get as much damage off. I know I'm half. My attack is halved, but he goes for the Fake Out. That's fair enough. It is tempting to do something like go into Hard Ride. He's just saying about how Charm and Snarl are both mean moves to have together, and I definitely agree. So I think I'm going to just keep going for the... I'm going to go for the Horn Leech. I think that's probably the best bet, because he is going to turn into the fighting type, I'm guessing, with the Power Up Punch. And I'm very scared, actually, because I don't really have a huge amount for this. Because I wasn't sure whether it would go for Fake Out or not. I couldn't really have gone out into Liepard, just in case he would have gone for the Power Up Punch. He does go for the Shadow Sneak, as I get the Horn Leech off. I don't really see there was much point in that, just because it wouldn't have made any difference on his part. I guess it in case I did switch as well, but he does go straight for the Drain Punch, which brings him all the way back up to full. Whereas, luckily, my Horn Leech is going to bring it up to a point where he is going to have a little bit of prior damage on him. And I think I am just going to go out into Rapidash and just get a Flare Blitz off, because I just want to get rid of this thing. I'll just go for another Horn Leech. I'd still do a surprising chunk, actually, considering I am half attack. So I'm going to go out into Hard Ride, and it's actually quite a scary team. No matter what he says about it all being quite a sort of fun team, it is still quite relatively scary as well. I am just going to go for the Flare Blitz. Even if the Wailord does come in, that's still quite a bit of prior damage on it. And I got plenty of grass types to switch into as well. I will assume that it's Scarfed as well. And I think that's probably quite a reasonable thing to do, because they typically are. And if it is Specs as well, it's not going to be too bad as well, because I should be able to take a Surf, or I think it learns Scald as well, with either Vitribell or Free Faced. I may not take an Ice Beam though. Okay, so he does go out into the Sandshrew, and that doesn't do too badly, actually. From here, there's no point me staying in, so I am actually going to go out into Reaper, anticipating I'm guessing probably the Rocks at this point, especially with Hard Ride being a fire type. It means that Rocks would probably be quite beneficial for him, and also the Kecleon is definitely something I have to watch out for. Considering he has Fake Out and Shadow Sneak, I doubt he's got Sucker Punch, considering he's got that much priority. So hopefully that Sucker Punch won't be something he'll have on Kecleon. He does go for the Toxic, which is fair enough. I am going to use this opportunity to get Sunny Day off. He probably is a bit scared of the Encore, so I do anticipate him probably switching out. And then I'll get a U-turn off the next turn, I think, or just hard switch. If he goes down to the Wailord, I probably will just hard switch. I'm not exactly sure. He probably will just go for a water move on the Wailord, because I don't think an Ice Beam, if it's Scarfed, would take out a Liepard. I don't think. But I don't really anticipating him staying in as well. The Arbok's also going to be an issue, because that's got Sucker Punch as well, and if that can get a coil off, that's going to be quite scary. So actually, out of all of my sweepers, Executor probably is the least useful. He does go straight for the Rocks. I am going to use this opportunity just to get an Encore off. I know he may switch out this turn, but considering I didn't go for the Encore that turn, he may think that I'm not packing it. He has faced this team about 3 times now, in various different stages of progression, so he may have a reasonably good idea of what Reaper does. It is a relatively old team as well. Like, I've probably had it been developing it for the last month and a half or so, and I personally really like it. I think it's quite an interesting sort of set of Pokemon. So I can go for the U-turn now, and I'm at a reasonable amount of health, and I can still get another set of Sun Up, so that will be good. None of his Pokemon outspeed Rapidash as well, so I should be able to get a Flare Blitz, should be able to either take out the Kecleon or the Arbok, and I think I probably would live a Sucker Punch. I've just got to make sure that I have at least something at a reasonable amount of health, because he's packing a lot of priority there. I do anticipate the switch at this point, I think. I don't know what into, but I can't really see him staying in, because I could very easily... I think if I go out into Vitribel, I can get a growth off, and that's probably worth doing, especially with the Dusclops running around. And he doesn't have anything that actually outspeeds. He does go out into the Cyclops mummy as I get the U-turn off. Now, the question is this specially defensive or physically defensive? Looking at his team, I anticipate the Sandshrew is probably physically defensive. So by my reckoning, it's specially defensive. So I think Hard Ride is the way to go here, because a Life Orb Flare Blitz will be doing a lot to this Dusclops, and I don't particularly want Victory Bell to be compromised. So I think a Flare Blitz. Also at this point, I don't think I'm going to be taking out the Kecleon with a sort of combination of Fake Out and Shadow Sneak as well. I don't think I can take that, and I'm a little bit worried about Arbok with Sucker Punch. So Hard Ride, I'm probably better off just keeping it in, doing as much damage as possible. Luckily, Dusclops has got quite low HP as well, so I should be able to do a reasonable chunk to that without losing too much of my own health. I may even one-hit KO it, but I've never really seen much that can one-hit KO a Dusclops, just because they're so bulky. But nothing, I can't see anything else that he's got that can really take it. Even Wailord, I don't know if it could take a hit. Unfortunately, whatever he switches in to take the hit, I won't be able to do... Okay, so I do 62, so he may be physically defensive. He probably is going to go for the Nightshade and take me out, which is a shame. So at this point, I really want to save pitch. I think Free Face is my least valuable sweeper now, purely because of the Kecleon with Shadow Sneak and the Arbok with Sucker Punch. So I am going to go out into Free Faced, get a Solar Beam off, and I think I'm just going to Solar Beam / Psychic away until Free Face goes down. I've still got 3 turns of Sun left as well, so I've got more than enough time to do some decent damage. He does have the Protect as well, which I did forget about, so I'm going to have 1 less turn of Sweep. Hopefully he doesn't get the double Protect off, because otherwise that does put me in a little bit more of a predicament. I probably would then sack off maybe Probopass. I think I could definitely survive a hit from... I guess I wouldn't be able to survive a hit from Kecleon if it's got the Drain Punch. I might be able to take a hit from Wailord. I'm not exactly sure. Anyway, he doesn't go for the Protect, so he does get taken out. And I'm not exactly sure what he's going to switch in, because it's got to the point where he does bring in the Kecleon. Kecleon always gives me issues. So let's see. It's very tempting to go out into Reaper. Because the Fake Out is going to bring it down, then I'm not going to be in there in the sun. I should still outspeed, though. I very much doubt he is max speed, considering the amount of priority he is running. I won't be able to Solar Beam. I can only Psychic then, though. Okay, I think I'm going to go out into Reaper, get the Sunny Day off, let him take me out, and then I can go out into Pitch, because I know Pitch could take any hit from that. That probably is the best bet. Oh, it's going to be very tense. So it does 25%, which is reasonable, and I should outspeed, so I'm guaranteed to get the Sunny Day off, and he may be fearing the T-Wave, but even then it's not going to be too bad. I guess the Encore as well, he could be fearing that. But yeah, I'm going to have to really watch out with this, with Kecleon. I do anticipate him probably switching out. And I think, to be honest, I probably would just let my Reaper die. With the toxic damage, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to come in anymore with rocks and everything like that. So it probably is worth letting this go. Playing it through in my head, there's a reasonable chance I may not win this one. Mainly because of the priority on both that and also the sucker punch on the Arbok. It's really tricky. Anyway, he does switch out into the Sandshrew, and I am at a point where I am going to die, so I am just going to get T-Wave off, just in case he does decide to switch. I very much doubt he is, but there's not much more I can really do. It's the only sort of legitimate move that's the most viable one, really. That means I stay in. So he does just double toxic. So now I'm in a position where still back in the same position because with Kecleon, I think I'm gonna have to start sweeping with pitch. Considering Reaper's stats, I took 25% from my fake out. Executor does have more HP, but I will be taking Life Orb, and then I don't think I'm going to take a fake out Shadow Sneak combo though, because yeah, it's going to do 75% about that. I think I am going to have to go out into pitch. Ooh, it's going to be tense. All this priority. So I go out into pitch, and I am going to go for the Solar Beam. There's nothing I can see that particularly appreciates it. But yeah, Kecleon's definitely a problem. I definitely agree with their decision to bring it up from PU. I think it is really quite a scary Pokemon, and just it's got a whole sort of good range of moves. I know it's not this, obviously it's not as great, say, obviously Greninja and things like that with Protean, but it does have access to a huge amount of priority that does manage to allow it to make up for its lost speed. So he does go out into Kecleon. At this point, I think I should be able to take a fake out Shadow Sneak combo. Considering it did 25%, it should do slightly more than that. And yeah, so I am in a comfortable position now where I can go for another Solar Beam. And as long as I can take this Kecleon out, I should be able to KO it. If I was him, I probably would switch out now, probably into the Arbok, and he probably then does win from there, unfortunately, because Executor isn't going to take a fake out combo, because then he can come back in, fake out, and I probably would be at would be at enough health where a Shadow Sneak would take me out. If he has the Sucker Punch, I don't think I'm going to be living that. He doesn't seem to have the Sucker Punch. So I go for the Solar Beam on his Arbok. I know I could have predicted it, but it was tricky. I think my only play is to go for Weather Ball at this point, but I am fearing the Sucker Punch on this. The sort of that access to double priority is really scary actually on the Kecleon. So he doesn't have the Sucker Punch, but now he is in a position where he can fake out and take me out with a Shadow Sneak afterwards. The only way I can see myself winning is if I can somehow get Executor in and just take the Shadow Sneak and not the fake out. So I am going to go for Solar Beam this turn, as he does go for the fake out probably, and yeah, I think I have lost this, because I mean, even if I had gone into Tash, he is going to still Drain Punch, take that out, and I wouldn't have any Sun. Okay, I'm going to have to Solar Beam this turn. I may be able to clinch this, because if I go for Solar Beam this turn, I can go out into Executor. It relies on me being able to KO with Psychic, which actually I really doubt I'll be able to do. And from there, assuming he's not got Sucker Punch as well. This is all based on the fact that he doesn't have a Sucker Punch. If he does have it, he's going to win anyway, because he's going to be able to take me out and then take out Probopass. But if not, then Psychic would... If he stays in and I can KO this, then I'm reasonably sure that I have won this, because he can't go for the Ice Beam. It's really tricky. It's really close. Ooh. If I was him, I would probably switch out into the Wailord, sack the Wailord off, and then you can get the Fake Out, Shadow Sneak off on this. If he does go straight for the Shadow Sneak, I'm pretty confident I can take it. But I am definitely not going to be able to take a Fake Out Shadow Sneak combo. He does make the right play and go out to Wailord. And I think from here it probably is GG. I'm going to have to go for the Psychic, because I can't even switch out, because if I switch out, by the time I had Life Orb and everything, and Rocks when I come back in, it's going to bring me down to a point where it is going to take me out. He does go for the Ice Beam, which does take me out, and it is unfortunately GG from here. The only way... No, there is no way that I can win, unfortunately. So Tash does come out, and I'm going to go for the Volt Switch, but it looks like it is... it is the end of the road. Just goes for another Ice Beam as I go for the Volt Switch, take him out. But yeah, Kecleon does definitely give me issues, and it's something I might have to look into with this team. Especially with Fake Out Shadow Sneak is very, very good. And I do really like Protean on it. I think it's made it much more viable than all that colour change thing where your opponent could just play around with it and you had no sort of control over your stab as well. So you lost stab, and you could also set yourself up in such a way that your opponent could then sort of super effective hit you and then change your typing and then super effective hit you again. So yeah, I do really like the ability Protean, I must admit. But not in PU. So that does take me out. So yeah, that was an excellent game. Hope you guys enjoyed the battle, and I will see you in the next one. Macadii out. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep up my latest content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. Macadii out.